Good day, folks. What a pleasure and one way to welcome you to Sports Insight, your biggest sport magazine program here on Focus Online TV. I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. On this program, we bring you in-depth and accurate analysis of a sporting event from the world of sports. This program comes your way Saturday every week from 2 to 4 p.m. here on Focus Online TV. We encourage you to keep watching. Again, I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. Thanks for following. Good day, folks. What a pleasure and one way to welcome you to Sports Insight, your biggest sport magazine program here on Focus Online TV. I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. On this program, we bring you in-depth and accurate analysis of a sporting event from the world of sports. This program comes your way Saturday every week from 2 to 4 p.m. here on Focus Online TV. We encourage you to keep watching. Again, I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. Thanks for following. All right, thanks for joining us. This is Focus FM 89.5. What a warm and pleasant way to welcome you to your favorite sports magazine program, Sports Insight Live on Focus FM 89.5. And so on today's edition of the program, interesting sports development coming up from Liberia, Africa, and other parts of the world. Of course, we are here on this program every Wednesday from 2:15 to 3:15 p.m. And of course, we are here on the weekend, that is Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. Again, I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. We take just a break, and when we come back, we're going to get the program started. Good day, folks. What a pleasure and one way to welcome you to Sports Insight, your biggest sport magazine program here on Focus Online TV. I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. On this program, we bring you in-depth and accurate analysis of a sporting event from the world of sports. This program comes your way Saturday every week from 2 to 4 p.m. here on Focus Online TV. We encourage you to keep watching. Again, I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. Thanks for following. Okay, thanks for joining us again. You are here. This is Sports Inside Live on Focus FM 89.5 and Focus Online TV. So, interesting sports development on today's edition of the program. We're going to be looking at some trending sports development in Liberia, Africa, and of course, other parts of the world. To begin with, we start with Liberia, that is locally. We talk about football in Liberia. The first thing we're going to be looking at today is the national team of Liberia. As you may be aware, we are still in contention for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Liberia is in the zone alongside you have Tunisia, Equatorial Guinea, Malawi, Sao Tome, and of course we have how you call them in the zone. We are in the zone of six, and we are still battling for qualification spots in that zone. The Lone Star of Liberia, we have two upcoming fixtures in September against Tunisia and that of Malawi. So, with the games ahead in September, up to present, our national team, there has been no information regarding preparation for those two crucial World Cup qualifiers. Because currently in our zone, we sit third place in our zone. We have Tunisia at the head of top of the zone. In that zone, we have Malawi sits in the second position, and of course, Liberia in the third position, sitting in the third place. So, meaning we have a whole lot of work to do, because the possibility that we might finish as group leader in our group is very slim, But there's also a possibility that Liberia could finish as one of the best runner-up in her zone that could qualify her to play in a playoff to seal a spot for the World Cup 2026. But all of these things bow down to preparation, like we say, our national team. In terms of preparation, we have to prepare adequately because if you are competing against other nations for these kind of international matches, your team have to be prepared. And this is one of the best time I think we can straighten up our team, most especially when all of the leagues across the world are closed their own break. And most of our players are in participating now in major competitions. This is the time that our government, the sporting association, can show that we initiate some friendlies, Africa or other parts of the world, that we can play at least one or two friendly matches to straighten our team to identify more lapses and see how we can fill in the gaps before we can take on those back-to-back matches in September. But as we speak to you currently, there's no plan on the way regarding the national team preparation for our World Cup or qualifiers in September. According to the president of the Liberia Football Association, they wrote the government regarding support for international friendlies ahead of our World Cup qualifier. Up to present, the government is yet to respond to what the FA proposed regarding friendly matches for the national team. So as a team, we can guarantee you that the national team will honor any friendly match ahead of the World Cup qualifier in September. And I think that is very bad. Almost all of the countries around the world, if you follow a recent on this international break, we've been seeing other countries engaging international. We've been seeing other countries engaging international friendlies across the world. Like recently, we saw Senegal. Senegal play England, defeated England 3 goals to 1. A host of other friendly matches been playing across the world. We've been following other countries from Africa. These people have been participating. But Liberia, we are not playing friendly matches. All of our players now, the players are on break. Of recent, Oscar Dolly, we saw Oscar Dolly, Samson Due, Divantier, couple of other guys who play in Europe and other parts of the world. They were in country on vacation, just in the country passing around. This is the best time I think the national team can come together, at least as a team, do some preparation, engage in some friendly matches, play one or two countries. If we cannot even go play friendly matches in Europe, other parts of the world, where in Africa we can play some of our neighboring countries, at least to strengthen the team. Because when you are going to international competition, especially going to represent your country, like the World Cup qualifier, it requires a whole lot. It requires a whole lot. So you don't just go to those games to go play, most especially when you have players playing for the national team that are not playing together almost every day. So the fact that the players are on break now, this is the time that you can bring those players together, bring our national team players together. All of them, they are on break. Most of them, they will soon resume their pre-season training. It is not like Liberia when we talk about break. Almost all of the players, there's no pre-season activities from these clubs, so the players are just passing around. No, professional players, they have time they are giving for pre-season, for how you call it, break at the end of the league season. And sooner or later, these guys will be returning to the various clubs to start the preseason campaign. Up to present, we are hearing from the footballing authorities that the president of the Liberia Football Association, in a recent media engagement at the headquarters of Liberia Football Association, we were told that they wrote the government regarding support for the national team to engage in some friendlies ahead of our World Cup qualifiers in September. There has been no response on the part of the government. So if our national team is not supported by the national government, if the Liberia Football Association too is also struggling in terms of budgetary support to fund the activities of our national team, I think it is difficult because you're going to engage in these kind of competitions if you are not prepared and you're going against opponents. Look at the countries that we are going to play against. You are going to play against a nation like Tunisia. When you talk about football, Tunisia has been represented at many World Cups. They have been to many African Cup of Nations. They are one African Cup of Nations. Talking about playing Malawi. Malawi is currently above Liberia in the zone. So how do we go and engage these countries when we are not preparing? I think it is something like almost like you are joking. So what we need to do as a country, we are calling on national government to this medium. The FA will need to go out there and seek, explore means by which we can have, we can be able to raise funds to fund the activities of the national team engaging into friendly matches. Because this is June, you have July, you have August. You will be playing way in September. So from now to September, even the local squad, that's one of the problems I always have with our national team. Let's disregard the fact that, yes, the fact that we have the likes of Samson Dwyer, Oscar Dolly, Solomon Twe, Devantier, all of the other guys there abroad playing in different countries. But the local players who are part of the national team, the National League now has closed. We are waiting for a new league season. These guys should be practicing regularly. The local national team, they should be practicing regularly. At least if that once a week, say every week, if they practice one time, I think that will be better. It's going to straighten them, their fitness level, maintaining their form, because everybody knows the situation in Liberia. When our players are not playing, when the league closes, most of them sometimes they engage into different activities, and these things will undermine their performance for the next league season. So if we have a program for the national team that we could maintain the players while they are on break, at least they are practicing one time a week, our local national team, couple of other international players. If this thing is happening regularly, recently you saw all of the other professional players who are playing abroad in country, they could join the local based players at least one or two practice sessions so that they can better understand themselves in terms of play coordination. The coach will also have the opportunity to understand more in terms of the players, in terms of players blending. There are lapses on the team. Will understand that, yeah, this will have deficiency in the department, and we can straighten it with this. These are the necessary changes that we need to make. These are the team we need to start. And there are a whole lot. But we just, football, we're taking football to just be magic. We're taking football to just be something like we're guessing. Yes. Our country, yes. Liberians, we love sports. Most of the supporters, we see football enthusiasts, they go on the field to support the national team. When Liberia go play, our citizens expect win. We expect best performance from the national team. But we fail to realize that we are not prepared, and we go to honor the international matches. That's why most often when we go to the competition, we come up with results. More often the country will draw, we will even lose games, and we can now win as a national team. And people will be thinking that, oh, the country is scared, this won't happen and this won't happen. No. Football is about preparation. What you put in is what you get. What you put in is what you get. The more you put in football, the better result you get. Typical example, a lot of people will set example FC Fasel. We saw FC Fasel when the CEO came, when he returned to the National League. In terms of investment, we saw how much he invested in FC Fasel, bringing in foreign players, bringing some of the best local talents and other experienced players. He brought into FC Fasel squad, and that one landed them the championship today. So it is no magic. The same with our national team. If we have millions of dollars can be diverted to other sectors of the country, what about sports, most especially football. I think we need to do this. We need to do this. It is very sad that up to present there has been no or feedback from the government regarding the proposal from the LFA, and we cannot authenticate whether we're going to play friendly matches. And we want to go and play in September and win. I think we cannot. It will be difficult for us to win our opponents, because mind you, our opponents, they are equally preparing. They are probably, some of them, they are on camps training, or they are engaging in friendly matches. What we just sit here in Liberia, our players playing in their Billon tournament, players going to play commercial from this end to the end, playing the Simpor Bill League and other things. And we expected players that are just playing all around here commercial to go now and go compete against a nation like Tunisia to go and win game. We expect the national team of Liberia to go and compete against Malawi to win game. We expect the national team to go and compete against Equatorial Guinea to win a game. That's not possible. When you prepare, you get the result that you want. When you fail to prepare, trust me, it's going to be a waste of time for you. So please, the government, we are calling on you to please support the Liberia Football Association in ensuring that our national team at least can play one or two friendly matches before our World Cup qualifiers in September. I think that will be good for us. It's going to help to straighten the squad. Again, we were also on the national team. We're talking about the Under 20 national team. Of recent, the Under 20 national team started some preparation. Coach Kopo Sama and his coaching staff, the short listed a number of players for the Under 20, both local and foreign-based players, some of the players that are playing away. And they started training of recent, and after training, when the final squad was selected, they were moved to the George Weah Technical Center in Carisbrooke. And so at that point, when they were moved to the George Weah Technical Center in Carisbrooke, at that time they started the training preparation, because the Under 20 national team should have participated in the Under 20 WAFU A and B or Boys Cup in Ghana that was to take place in Ghana June, this month, which is June. But of recent, we we got some information that the organizers of the competition or the tournament has postponed the tournament to a later date, meaning the Under 20 competition that our country should have participated in June in Ghana has been postponed to a later date. What happened? The FA issue released that all of our players should go back home, return to their various homes, and afterward they're going to ensure that the players, yes, when they are ready for them, they're going to be called back. Again, I got concerned. What is this? You have an Under 20 national team that you are trying to build. Some of the players who were part of the Under 20 national team years back, some of them are not active with the Under 20 national team. You have introduced a new breed of young players. So because the tournament has been postponed, imagine because they have postponed the Waffle Cup, so our Under 20 is now practicing again. They are telling the players to go. No, this program should be sustained. This Under 20 national team training program should be sustained. The guys at the George Weah Technical Center, why can we sustain this program? Why is it so big for us? Why can the government come in and provide support to ensure that the Under 20 players be kept at the George Weah Technical Center to train more, to develop more, because we have more other competitions ahead apart from just the Under 20 or Waffle Cup that we should have played in Ghana that was postponed. But you told all the players, say, the tournament, the tournament not hold again. The organizer has postponed the tournament to a later day, so you're going. When we're ready, we'll call you again. So the whole training process, it has ceased. It has ceased. This is not how we run football. All around the world, go and see other countries that are making headway, that are making significant strides. Or recently, the internet was flooded when we saw Senegal defeating England 3-1. Who told you it was magic? This is not the first time. The 2002 World Cup in Korea and Japan, the very Senegal defeated France. At that time, France was the defending champion. France was the defending champion of the World Cup. Senegal defeated France 1-0. It started way back. And Senegal did not make magic because preparation. They invested a whole lot into football development. Today, we cannot even maintain Under 20 squad for just 3 to 4 months to maintain their own camp where they will be training, at least regularly playing together, to be able to straighten the team that we can identify a starting level, that we know the changes and other players in terms of player pairing. But you are telling the players that you're going because they postponed the tournament, when we're ready, we'll call you. Most of the players down there are not active. The National League has closed. The National League has closed. We're talking about way around September for the league to resume. So you have June, July, August. What becomes of our players? They should be languishing all around here. This is why we're saying our players should just be around here, passing around and nothing doing. We need to have a sustainable football program if we are serious about football in this country. If we want our national team to win games, if we want to compete against other countries, for the Lone Star of Liberia to win games, what we need to do is to ensure that we invest more, that we have programs running that are going to keep our players regularly up to date, that they can be able to compete against other players. Because if we fail to do these things and we are expecting results, trust me, we're not going to get the kind of results that we are expecting. It's just like we're going to be imagining some things. Yeah, imagining that this thing is going to happen, but the reality is these things are not going to happen yet. We just be living in a world of imagination. Imagining, yeah, like bro, we can beat Tunisia, we can beat Malawi, we can beat the other country. No, it won't work that way. The Under 20 or African Cup of Nations are recent. We saw a country like Sierra Leone competing against top nations like Egypt, playing other countries that are noted for football in Africa. How did Sierra Leone reach to that level? It's not about magic, because the Sierra Leone FA, the Sierra Leone government invested. They invested a whole lot. So because they invested into more football programs, football development, today you have Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone girls of recent year went to Mauritania. There, you saw them participated in a major competition and won the trophy. It is not magic. If we are serious about football in this country, our government need to get involved. The government need to support the FA, because yes, we agree what the FA receive from FIFA or CAF and other things. There are other programs being run across the country. So it is not just about the national team. Like they're running the day-to-day affairs of football in the country, the national league. At all levels, you have the first division league, you have the second division league. Of course, you have the third division league, you have the community league. At that level, we have the women's league, the upper women's league, the lower women's league. We have all of these footballing activities. So if you have all of these footballing activities being run across the country, and the FA is running the programs and also coming in with the national team to interest of assistance, then national government needs to step in. These are priority agendas for our country that will take lately with football. When I see the way we treat football in Liberia, I feel really bad. Take for example, when Samson Dwyer come to Liberia on vacation, Oscar Dolly, how we can be excited. We see Divan Tia, everybody happy, we want to go around these senior players. You think if we are investing more in football, we'll not have more of these guys than playing outside of Liberia, will be coming to the country for vacation? We can have more, but because there are limited support, for football, so we have only few players. Yes, all they're playing for Liberia, and when it comes to Liberia, we think yes, yeah, that all it is no. Government, national government, we are calling on you, please help support the Liberia Football Association more. We need financial support to be able to undertake some of these initiatives. Yes, that will help our country. National government need to come in. Now, yes, like I was saying, the under 22, the under 20, no need to cancel the under 20 camp. The under 20 camp can be running. This is a sustainable football program because the tournament, the WAFU tournament that was scheduled to take place in Ghana has been postponed. You say all the players should go home. And some of the players, look at some of them in terms of their development. These guys needs to be supervised. If the National League is not on, other countries, that's what they do. They have the kind of football program running for the under 17, the under 20, at least to keep the guys together so that they can play together regularly, at least so they can understand their pattern of play, know more how to keep the players together. But in Liberia, we can't do it. We want to wake up and just go play against other countries and win. When we are not preparing, National League close, you have the local national team. The players that are on the national team that are playing locally in country, all the players then they are around here. Go in the various communities, you see them playing commercial. Right near my house, behind my house, there's a field there. They get one country meet. Go and see some of our players there on our field playing. But if we had a program where the National League has closed already, then we got the players, then they are training together regularly. At least the national team practicing one time a week, regularly practicing one time a week. The other professional players who came down on break, join and they practice together. I think it's going to be better for our national team. We go out there, we can get some of the results. But just say that September we're going to play against Tunisia, we're going to play Equatorial Guinea, Malawi, and other countries in the World Cup qualifier, and we're going to be expecting that Liberia going to win. It is not magic. If other countries are investing into football, we can invest into football, and when we invest, trust me, we're going to get that result. We should stop guessing. We should stop imagining that this thing is going to happen. We should be practical with regards to our approach about football. That's all. Over and over, we are calling government. We are saying this. And I will join the FA and other football enthusiasts. Government need to do well. Every day we wake up in the country, the government will talk politics, but we're in no sports, we're in no football. Now knowing that football could develop a country. Other football players, they are successful. We see the less of Sadio Mane, the less of Didier Drogba. Some of the African players, Mohamed Salah, guys, they are successful in their football career. They make money, they come back, they invest in their country. And when they invest in their country, it helps to boost the country economy. They build schools, they build clinics, they sponsor football players. There are a lot of football programs to sponsor. They open academy and other things to have them running. But we're not doing this in the country. So we just have few of our players, at least when they manage. Look at how recent some of our players traveled, they went Albania to play. And conditions weren't favorable, these guys had to come back. But you think if we had a better football program here that is well arranged, that our players be going out there on some of these contracts, they are well negotiated. You think that our players going to experience those kind of situation? It won't be. They won't experience those kind of situation. So we need to do well when it comes to football. We need to do well. Seriously, we need to do well for our national team. All right. So we move to FC Fasel and Blackman Warrior. Yes, of recent, FC Fasel and Blackman Warrior, of course, there are two representatives this year for the CAF or Champions League and the CAF Confederation qualifiers. Yeah, Fasel won the league championship, and of course, Blackman Warrior won the Orange Cup. And the two of them going to be representing Liberia out there. Yes, of recent, we have been hearing a couple of players linked to FC Fasel and that of Blackman Warrior because when you are going any kind of competition, the CAF qualifying round, that is the Confederation Cup and the Champions League, is also an international competition where you are going to compete against champion clubs from other countries too across Africa. We've been there of recent. We have seen Liberian teams going to participate in the CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round. And most often our clubs from Liberia, they just drop in the first preliminary round qualifier. It's been difficult over the years. For the past 2 years that I have followed, we haven't really been able to make progress. We had the last time we had Liska and Watanga. Liska went to the competition against Bo Ranger. They were knocked out. Watanga played against State Malian, the Bamako from Mali. They were also knocked out of the competition. The following year, we also had, or how you call them, Watanga SC representing Liberia. And of course, we have Pinsway SC representing Liberia. They did not do well. Though Pinsway won her first match, in the second match, she got eliminated. But again, that wasn't the progress we expected from our Liberian clubs. So this time around, we'll have SC Facel and of course Blackman Warrior to be representing Liberia. I've been hearing of recent years that Facel, they are trying to boost up the squad. FC Facel, they are trying to boost up the squad ahead of the CAF or Confederation Cup qualifier. Of recent, they are Facel, they have been heavily linked to former Liberian international Francis Grandpa Doe, who have many caps for the national team. Of course, play for a couple of other clubs in Africa and other parts of the world. Grandpa Doe, he once featured in a competition against FC Barcelona for Al Ali, one of the most successful clubs in Europe. So Grandpa Doe, a reason he has been linked to FC Facel. We've been hearing that it's not yet confirmed. We've also been hearing that Ashley Williams, the goalkeeper who used to play for Leicester, is no longer with Leicester. His contract has ended. He has also played for the national team of Liberia. We've been hearing that he's heavily linked to Blackman Warrior. We've been hearing that Arvin McConnell too, Liberian international. He used to play in Iraq. He's back in country. In the Just League season, Arvin McConnell played for Heaven 11 in the Just in the League season. So he's been heavily linked to Blackman Warrior. Yes, these things are welcoming because in most cases, most of the clubs that take part in the CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round qualifier at the end of the league season, what they do because they are going to this kind of international competition. So most often they go on the market to get players to straighten the squad. For example, maybe if you have deficiency in the midfield, if you have deficiency when it comes to your striking options, you have deficiency in the defense or the goalkeeper, because you are going to play in a competition where you have champions from all parts of Africa participating in. So they can get other players to straighten the squad. And that's what Facel and Blackman Warrior are trying to do because they are making negotiation. They are very engaging a lot of players from different clubs regarding their signature to join the team so that they can go and represent Liberia in the CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round qualifier. And we are hoping this time around, there are high expectations that at least if Facel Blackman Warrior can be able to progress to the next stage, that will be a boost for us as a country because most often we are just eliminated in the first round, the preliminary round. Most often the CAF Confederation Cup qualifier Liberian teams we are not performing. And we want to change the narrative. I've been hearing that there are 50,000 going to be given to each club interest for preparation. Also, Facel going to receive 20,000 for winning the National League Championship. I think they're going to aid with some of the expenses because most of our clubs in Liberia, they are challenged. We know when it comes to, especially honoring this kind of international or competition, it is difficult. Yeah, especially the cost that is involved. Most especially if you have to go play, maybe if you have a game to go play somewhere in North Africa, Eastern Africa, that you have to board a flight, carry players, carry officials, and other people to travel the team. It is expensive, but yes, this football, you have to invest because when you invest more, you're going to get what you invest. And we are afraid in most cases, most of our people, they come into football. And yes, football, you have to invest. We're all around the world. Man City, I always set example some of the clubs that most often we can also go and cheer all there. We saw Man City on recent. Before, when you talk about football in England, you have the likes of Man U, you talk about Liverpool, Arsenal, and other things. How Man City rise to the occasion because Man City invested a whole lot into the club. That Man City had to go on to win Premier League. They were able to win Champions League, talking about winning Club World Cup around here. PSG, I just won the UEFA Champions League. We know of the investment, how well the owners of that team invested. So it's the same thing with football. It's not magic all around the world. Football, when you invest in football, you get the result. So FC Facel, yeah, we've been hearing a couple of players that Facel they are planning on bringing over to the squad at least to help to bolster the squad for the preparation of the CAF Confederation Cup Preliminary 1 qualifier. Since we are hearing about Blackman Warrior, and we are praying all goes well, that some of the players that the clubs are after, they can get their signature so that they can join their squad to go and represent Liberia in this international competition. Because when the guys go out there and they perform well, it's a pride for our country, it's a boast for our country, it's a boast for our league that a champion team from Liberia can go and defeat a champion team from Mali. A champion team from Liberia can defeat a champion team from Algeria. That's a boast for our league. It also exposes our player out there to other bigger opportunities on the international stage. That's why we are always praying that when we go to this kind of competition, our Liberian teams can perform well. So we keep talking. We can't get tired talking because this is about Liberia and we won't give up on our country. So you are listening to the program, listening or watching Sports Inside here on Focal FM 89.5, your favorite sports magazine program that brings you accurate, in-depth analysis about development from the world of sports. And today's Wednesday edition from 2:15 to 3:15 p.m. I'm your host, Eric Palop Collins. We're talking about a couple of interesting sport development. For those of you that are listening or following live, we announce the number if you want to participate. You can call to participate on the program. If you are also watching online and you want to participate, you can just leave your comment on your concern in the comment section, and we're going to address that for you. Maybe if you have a question or if you have something to say, you leave it in the comment section. We're going to address that. But those of you that want to call, that are listening to the radio and want to call and participate on the program, we announce the numbers for you to call and participate. Like we said, we're talking about sports development, not just in Liberia, but other parts of the world. So we just want to run you through quickly so that we can get the public participation. Of recent year, there was this issue about Slavia Prague, the club that Oscar Dole plays for in Czech Republic. They are the current champions, and we saw the listing wherein there were players selected for the preseason fitness and training camp in Austria. Slavia Prague, Liberia's youngster Emmanuel Fule. He was a surprise name that was included in the squad, and everyone that were excited. We were happy about it because yes, we are proud. A young lad who just played recently on the international stage for Liberia. He's been given the opportunity at that level, at least to represent Slavia Prague in the preseason. So, depending on his performance, because he just played for Slavia Prague B in the league season, so he has been given the opportunity now to the senior national team where he will join them in the preseason tour. And depending on his performance, we're going to see Emmanuel Fule with the senior team in the next season in the Czech Republic League. We are happy about that. There are a lot of players. There have been speculations or issues of our player being linked, possible transfer to other clubs across Europe. The likes of Oscar Dole, Samson Due. Yes, we are happy. We are excited about the news because we want to see our players exploring. From Slavia Prague today, we want to see our player playing in the Italian Serie A. For Slavia Prague, we want to see some Liberian players playing in the German Bundesliga. For Slavia Prague, we want to see some Liberian players playing in the English Premier League. So there have been negotiations with regards to Oscar Dole. Yeah, there are a couple of clubs with interest, but there have been no formal bid submitted to either Vitória Plzen or Slavia Prague regarding the signature of Samson Due or that of Murphy Oscar Dole. Some of the players, some Liberians were concerned. Why is it the recent squad that were announced by Slavia Prague, they didn't see the name of Oscar Dole? Probably is already on his way. No, we want to say that information is false. Oscar Dole, his vacation was extended by the club. He and a couple of other players, their vacation deadline was extended. So he's supposed to return on the 25th, including other players who are on break. They will return back to the team on the 25th, and they will continue with Slavia Prague with the preseason. Samson Due too, he was in country of recent. I think he's back now. He will also jump Vitória Plzen. While there are clubs also after them. But the clubs, the thing is not in Liberia the way we do normally, this transfer thing. No, there should be a formal bid from a club to another club regarding the signature of a particular player. Then there where in the conversation comes about, they're going to discuss and negotiate. When the terms and conditions are met, then the players are transferred to another club. So all of us, we are wishing and praying that the likes of Samson Due, Murphy Oscar Dole can move outside Czech Republic and at least explore in countries like Germany, Italy, or England. That will be something good for us. Yes, so let's keep praying. We'll keep our finger crossed. We are hoping, and we pray that all work out in the best interest of our players. Yes, The FIFA Club World Cup is currently taking place in the United States of America. This is a special edition, and we just thought to bring you up to date with some of the happening in the Club World Cup because some of you too are also fanatics of European clubs and other major football development around the world. So the competition started on Sunday in the United States of America. In the opening match, Inter Miami and Al Ali played to a goalless draw. Al Ali from Africa, they are one of the giants in Africa currently that we know won Sarah or CAF Champions League. They also been represented. They are also been representing Africa too in the club FIFA Club World Cup. So they are not going to the competition. We also have the likes of Mamelodi Sundown from South Africa. We have Esperance de Tunis. So these are clubs from Africa that are representing us in the Club World Cup. So Al Ali battled against Inter Miami and they played to a goalless draw. Yeah, Lionel Messi was in that squad playing against Al Ali. It was goalless. In the second game, Bayern Munich trashed Auckland City 10 goals to 0. We saw how Bayern Munich outshine their opponents who play Bayern Munich, with most of the players being part-time contractors. These were working people. Some of them, they said the guys, they were not ready full-time football players. But that is not an excuse. You cannot go to an international competition if you tell your opponent you know are working and get anything to do. So as far as we are concerned, Bayern Munich eliminated them 10 goals to 0. Of course, the current champions in Europe, Paris Saint-Germain, they continue their impressive form with a 4-0 win over Atletico Madrid in the Club World Cup. Atletico Madrid, excellent performance by PSG. PSG is still proving to be a top contender, having won the UEFA Champions League, defeating Inter Milan convincingly in the final. The team is still together. The only absence we saw in the squad was Ousmane Dembele. He did not play against Atletico Madrid, but the team, they are still well coordinated, and I think the guys, they are off for something. A club that Atletico Madrid, we know how Atletico Madrid is tough. A club, when you see them playing against Barcelona, Real Madrid, and if PSG could outsmart them with that amount of goals, I think PSG, yes, in the next 2 to 3 years, we should watch out for PSG because the guys, they are ready up for business. Palmeiras and FC Porto too, they play the Club World Cup, they also settled to a goalless draw. That was the first game. In the second round of the Club World Cup, we saw Botafogo from Brazil. Botafogo, they defeated Cito Santos 2 goals to 1. They defeated Cito Santos 2 goals to 1. Chelsea, the current champions of the UEFA Conference League. Chelsea defeated Los Angeles 2 goals to 0. You have Pedro Neto and of course Enzo Fernandez on the scoring sheet for Chelsea. Boca Juniors and Benfica played to a 2-2 draw. Boca Juniors and Benfica played to a 2-2 draw in the FIFA Club World Cup. Nicolas Otamendi and Angel Di Maria were on the scoring sheet for Benfica. Yesterday, Flamengo defeated Esperance Tunis 2 goals to 0. That is one of Africa's representatives in the current Club World Cup. Esperance Tunis from Tunisia, they were defeated 2 goals to 0 by Flamengo from Brazil. Also, Fluminense and Borussia Dortmund played to a goalless draw. Thiago Silva, a veteran midfielder, he was the captain yesterday's match. He led Fluminense to a goalless draw against Borussia Dortmund. We also have River Plate defeating Urawa Reds 3 goals to 1. And of course, Ulsan HD, they were defeated 1 goal to 0 by Mamelodi Sundown, Africa's representative, the only African team to score so far in this year's edition of the FIFA Club World Cup. And they are the first African team to record a win in the FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Interesting fixtures coming up today in the Club World Cup. Already Inter Milan, they have drew 1-1 with Monterrey FC. That's the team Sergio Ramos played for. Sergio Ramos last night, he was in action and he scored a lone goal for Monterrey FC before Lautaro Martinez got the equalizer for Inter Milan. Later today, Manchester City will take on Wydad Casablanca in another interesting match. Real Madrid will take on Al Hilal, and of course, we have Pachuca taking on Red Bull Salzburg. So, interesting football development there from the FIFA Club World Cup, currently taking place in America. For some of you who are fanatics, this evening there will be a couple of games. Like I said, Man City will play against Wydad Casablanca. For some of you that are supporters of Man City, you can go out there to watch your game. We also have Real Madrid will be in action today to Real Madrid on Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso, for the first time as head coach of Real Madrid, will be in charge today in the FIFA Club World Cup. And of course, you will have Also, Rebel Stars were later on participating in the club. Welcome. So it's about time we take your participation. If you want to call on the program and participate, 0770 24 96 65, 0770 24 96 65, and of course 0880 67 71 34. 0880 67 71 34. We're taking just a short break and we'll come back. We're going to take your calls on the program. Take just a short break and we'll come back. We'll take your calls. Good day, folks. What a pleasure and one way to welcome you to Sports Insight, your biggest sport magazine program here on Focal Online TV. I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. On this program, we bring you in-depth and accurate analysis of a sporting event from the world of sports. This program comes your way Saturday every week from 2 to 4 p.m. here on Focal Online TV. We encourage you to keep watching. Again, I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. Thanks for following. Good day, folks. What a pleasure and one way to welcome you to Sports Insight, your biggest sport magazine program here on Focal Online TV. I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. On this program, we bring you in-depth and accurate analysis of a sporting event from the world of sports. This program comes your way Saturday every week from 2 to 4 p.m. here on Focal Online TV. We encourage you to keep watching. Again, I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. Thanks for following. All right, thanks for rejoining us. We are still here, Sports Inside Live on Focal FM 89.5 and also live on Focal Online TV. We are discussing of football today. We spoke about the national team of Liberia. Of course, we talk about our preparation ahead of the back-to-back World Cup qualifiers in September. Liberia will be in action against Tunisia, and of course, we'll play against Equatorial Guinea. We also have another match against Malawi. As I speak to you, President, there have been no conversation regarding preparation for those friendly matches, meaning we're talking about playing friendly matches against other countries. Recently, we saw Senegal in action against England, defeating England 3-1. A host of other countries around the world are playing international friendly matches, but from the angle of the Liberia Football Association, there have been no official pronouncement. While we hear that the LFA wrote the government regarding our budgetary support for our friendly matches, the government is yet to respond, so we cannot guarantee anything of that. And our national team will be going to the international competition. We are not prepared and want to go and win game. I think that is impossible. So we call on national government at least to come with some support to the national team, at least so that we can start some level of preparation for the World Cup qualifiers in September. Also, the Under-20 national team, they were scheduled to take part in the WAFU A and B Cup in Ghana this month. But of recent, we received information that the organizers of the tournament have postponed the tournament to a later date. And while the government did, or the FA, the players that were on camp at the George Weah Technical Center, they were instructed to go back home, that when they are ready for the program, the guys will be contacted. And we think it is now right. Yes, we need to have some of these programs sustained. Some of these football programs need to be sustained. It's not because the competition has been postponed. You will not have the Under-20 team training regularly, at least, even if not every day, 1 or 2 times a week, because the more the guys train, the more they play together, the more the squad develop. But it's not happening with our Under-20 team. They told the players to go back home. Some of the players, the league have closed already. They have no means of training, especially in Liberia. We'll talk about preseason. Most of the club preseason, they'll wait for maybe just 1 month for the league to start, where you see clubs around will start to practice. So the players are all in the community playing commercial, playing all of these fees. They are vulnerable to injuries and a lot of things happen. But if we had a program wherein at least what all of the leagues, now almost all of the leagues around the world are closed, our national team could engage in 1 or 2 friendlies. Our under 20 team could continue the training process. But all of these things bow down to support. If the necessary support is not given, trust me, yeah, it's difficult. So let's just acknowledge some of our online followers quickly. We have Bwaka Grace. I'm following from Topo Village. Thanks for following James. CK Queen and Senior. He said the order is low from my end, Ghana's Magisterial Code. Thanks for following. We also like to acknowledge Augusta Duco following us live. Emmanuel Brown following us live. William Flomo following us live from the Ministry of Health. Theo Destiny Webpla is following us. We have Julius Twere following us live. Hilary B. Johnson following us live. Liberia Racing following the program live. Coco Beachy following the program live. Liberian statistician is following us live. Also, want to say thanks to all of you for following. If you have a concern, you can leave it in the comment section. We're going to address that. For those of you who also want to participate on the program, I announce the number 0770 24 96 65, 0770 24 96 65, and of course 0880 67 71 34. I think we are gradually running out of time. We have just a few minutes to wrap up on some of the development we talk about today on the program. Yes, so that's it for Liberia. We're also looking up to SC Facel and that of Blackman Warriors. Our two representatives for this year CAF or preliminary round qualifiers. The two clubs, I learned that they will be starting or preparation or anytime soon because it's an international competition. You need to prepare fully to go and compete against other opponents. So Blackman Warrior and SC Facel, I think they are currently in the market looking after the signature of other players to join the squad. That's good for us, and we will appreciate if they can do that because yes, we need the teams to be prepared to go and represent Liberia in the CAF preliminary round qualifier. This is an international competition. Most often, Liberian teams that have been going there to represent us, they haven't been doing well in terms of progress. That is, most often we stop or our club drop in the first round. So this time around, we want to change the dynamic. We don't want it to happen continuously the way it normally used to be. We need other clubs to go out there and at least be able to represent Liberia fully. So Blackman Warriors or FC Facel, they have been linked to a couple of players. Like I said, we heard about Alvin McConnell, we heard about Ashley Williams. These guys have been linked to Blackman Warrior for the CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round qualifier. FC Facel recently there are information that Facel they are trying to secure the signature of Francis Grandpa Doe, an experienced striker to boost all the attack for the CAF Confederation Cup qualifier. These are things that we expect because you cannot just go to the competition with your local squad that play in the league. We are not undermining the effort of the local squad. We are not in any way trying to discredit them, no. But we need the squad to be straightened because some of the clubs that you're going to compete against too, some of the clubs to do that. When club qualify for CAF Champions League or CAF Confederation Cup preliminary round qualifier, they bring in new players to straighten the squad because the competition is an international one and it requires more. So Blackman Warrior and SC Facel should do same, and that will be appreciated because we don't want you to go there and just go to the first round and you be eliminated the way other clubs been doing. No, this time around, we want for Liberian clubs to at least make progress to go beyond just the preliminary round qualifier. So we are expecting calls from you now. We announced the numbers already 0770 24 96 65 and 0880 67 71 34. We have less than 3 minutes to climax today's edition of the program, and we're going to resume here on Saturday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon with another edition of the program. So for those of you following live, if you have concern, you leave it in the comment section. Those of you who want to call, we announce the number you can call to participate. So we just take this short break and we'll come back. We're going to wrap up on today's edition of the program. Good day, folks. What a pleasant and warm way to welcome you to Sports Insight, your biggest sport magazine program here on Focal Online TV. I'm your host, Eric Palop Collins. On this program, we bring you in-depth and accurate analysis of a sporting event from the world of sports. This program comes your way Saturday every week from 2 to 4 p.m.
here on Focal Online TV. We encourage you to keep watching. Again, I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. Thanks for following.
All right, so thanks for following me again. We have Augustine Ali. He's also following us live. I want to say thanks for following the conversation. So it has been a nearly 1 hour sports conversation talking about football in Liberia. We talk about the national team. We talk about the under 20 national team. Host of other Liberian players playing in Europe who have been linked to several clubs across Europe. And we are hoping that some of our players can be given the opportunity to play for bigger clubs in Europe. That will be a boost for all of us here as Liberians, as football lovers. We are hoping that this come to reality. Most of what we are hearing regarding the transfer of Liberian players. We also talk about the FIFA Club World Cup that is currently taking place in the United States of America. Again, yes, I'm being here for nearly 1 hour. Eric Palup Collins bringing you interesting sporting development from the world of sports. This is how we are about to call it a day on today's edition of the program. For all of you who've been following us live by means of social media, by means of the radio, listening to the radio, we want to say thanks for always tuning in to Focal FM 89.5. We resume on Saturday with another fascinating edition of the program, Sports Insight. So until then, from my end, I want to say
good day, folks. What a pleasant and warm way to welcome you to Sports Insight, your biggest sport magazine program here on Focal Online TV. I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. On this program, we bring you in-depth and accurate analysis of a sporting event from the world of sports. This program comes your way Saturday every week from 2 to 4 p.m. here on Focal Online TV. We encourage you to keep watching. Again, I'm your host, Eric Palup Collins. Thanks for following.